Dave, what do you have here?
All right. So best surprise movie. So the first one I'm going to talk about, I can almost guarantee that you guys and probably maybe one person listening has heard of this movie. It is a documentary called I'm Not Everything I Want to Be.
Mm.
So it's a documentary about the life and career of a Czech photographer. I am not going to try to pronounce her name because I will absolutely butcher it. There's a lot of consonants involved and marks over letters that I just do not feel qualified to even attempt. But it's put together from all of her work. Weirdly similar to something like The Perfect Neighbor, where it's kind of edited together and cobbled together. And the thing I was most struck by actually in this movie was the sound design of this documentary. Really, really stunning. Like the greatest sound work I've seen in a documentary in my life of watching movies. Really incredible. Because she took so many pictures that you could almost create a full-length animated film with her pictures. And that's kind of what they did in this movie. But then the sound that they create to set you in the scenes that she is taking pictures of, really, really beautiful stuff. So especially if you're a documentary person, really, really recommend I'm Not Everything I Want to Be.
Haven't seen it, but I've heard great things.
Yeah, really good. Ephus, of course, is on the list. That movie was a complete shock to me. Knew nothing about it before I saw it, other than I know what an Ephus pitch is because I am a baseball nerd.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to do that walking in. So that's all I knew going in. So that was definitely a surprise.
Sure.
Let's see. Kill the Jockey. Another really excellent film that was very underseen this year. It's also in Spanish, it's called El Jockey. So it's just called The Jockey in Spanish, but here we call it Kill the Jockey. I don't know why, but it's like a queer surrealist dream. I'm kind of in love with this movie, and we'll talk later about it more, I think, because there's at least one performance that I think I'm going to bring up again. Definitely a not for everybody movie. I could totally see someone making this 20 minutes in and being like, God damn it, Dave. Like, why did you recommend this movie to me? How dare you? And I totally get it. Yeah. Wake Up Dead Man is on the list as well. Because when it comes to Knives Out movies, I think they're okay.
I'm with you.
They're enjoyable. Like, I like them, and I never have a desire to go back to them. And one reason for that is I feel like until this movie, I feel like Ryan Johnson's politics are kind of like baby's first leftist take. I mean, it's just kind of like, hey, the internet's bad, guys. There's a lot of people saying bad stuff. Did you know? It's just very on the surface. And that is a smart move from him because, you're covering a lot of ground and you want a lot of people to watch your movie and get the messages that you're interested in pushing across. This movie is much more subtle, and this movie has a lot more to say. And it's not quite so black and white as the politics of 1 and 2. This one, it really plays in the gray. And I was stunned by this. I was shocked by how much I like this movie, so much that I have already watched this movie twice. I've already watched this movie more than I've watched 1 and 2. So it's already more rewatchable to me, and it's not even a year old.
Yeah.
And the last one is Resurrection, by Gann's epic film. Oh my God. It's a movie that has so much in it. I almost don't feel qualified to talk about it. Like, there's so much going on. It's a movie I desperately want to rewatch. And God, I wish I could see this on the biggest screen possible.
Sure.
But really, really shockingly good. Like, didn't know anything about that director walking in, didn't really know anything about the movie, just got offered very luckily to see a screener of this movie. And I was actually on vacation when I got the screener and had to tell my wife, I have to really watch this movie. I know we're on vacation.
It's like nearly 3 hours long, too.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, I guess. Have a good time. We'll go do something else. So yeah, Resurrection. The winner though is Ephus. I mean, Ephus is great. Especially if you're like if you're an old guy who likes baseball, whose body is breaking down, boy, do I have the movie for you. This is the one. Like, I just kind of adore this movie. I mean, as Brendan's mentioned a couple times, I bought the t-shirt, I bought the movie. I am fully in the bag for this movie. So Ethos, definitely the biggest and best surprise movie for me this year.
It's a terrific movie. Not quite a surprise movie for me, but among your nominees there, Dave, I also have Wake Up Dead Man for the reasons that you very eloquently talked about. It is my favorite of the Knives Out movies. In fact, I feel like I'm alone in saying that my ranking of them is actually like release order backwards.
Yeah.
I think I slightly like Glass Onion more than the first because it's actually the one that doesn't take itself too seriously. I think it's just a great comedy. And I think that's why it works. But Wake Up Dead Man, to your point, is the one that really added a level of maturity in Ryan Johnson's depiction of these sociopolitical themes in a way that I was just very surprised by. So that's a very, very good surprise movie for me. The rest of these are movies that I guess I have them as surprise movies because they were much better than I actually thought they were going to be. Nice. A movie like Freakier Friday, for instance, was actually quite fun. Highest to Lowest, Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest, and some of the elements of how it was kind of looking back and deconstructing his own career as a filmmaker. I didn't expect that. There's also the Marvel movie Thunderbolts, which for the first time in a long time felt like a movie as opposed to Marvel content.
Yes.
Which was really exciting to see. And the more I sit with that one, the more I actually think it might be top tier MCU because it's just great to see a movie that feels like a movie.
Yeah.
So perhaps the timing of that has more to say about that than anything else.
Did they change the name of that movie? Can you even call it Thunderbolts anymore?
I still call it Thunderbolts asterisk. So
that's what I call it too. Yeah,
the brand new Avengers or whatever the hell. Like
the Avengers with the Z. We got to make that known too. My winner though is a movie we already talked about quite a bit in the last category, and that's The Naked Gun. It's surprising in a way because comedies, just in general, I think, need some help in the movie business as far as
agreed.
Not that they're bad, but they need to be seen more, and we need to see more attempts at allowing the comedy to also be a theatrical experience as opposed to.
I was going to say that's what Netflix is for. It's fine.
But like, don't you kind of miss even when, like, let's say you look at romantic comedies in general back in the 2000s, as many of them were not that great. A lot of them still look like they were trying to fish for a best cinematography Oscar. Like they actually look like movies still. Like I was randomly rewatching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days the other day. It's like, wow, this actually looks like a movie.
It's a good looking movie. It's not a good movie, but it's a
good looking movie. Yeah. And I miss when, comedies kind of had that energy, and The Naked Gun took me back to that kind of aesthetic feel, that the fact that comedies can actually be big entertainments, very reminiscent of how comedies used to be. And that's what surprised me the most about it. And that's why I found it so charming, because I think it weirdly also knows that. And it's playing with that idea that comedies can actually be something we celebrate as a communal experience and not just a dumping ground, because it's a less expensively made movie. So I think for those reasons, it's a great surprise movie for me.
Thank God for Happy Gilmore too, right?
Oh, right, absolutely.
Guys? Right.
That's fine. Just going straight to streaming. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And probably worth noting that The Naked Gun made $102 million on a $40 million budget. So
people like comedies. They like to laugh.
People went to see it. That's a huge success story from 2025. So yes, I do love that. The Naked Gun is a nominee for me here as well for all those reasons. I also have Thunderbolts as a nominee for me here. Predator Badlands, I think, is incredibly badass. That film rules, and I did not expect it to be as great as it is. I have Superman on here as a nominee for me. I'm generally not into DC as much, and I was especially reserved on James Gunn in the DC world up until that film, but really liked it a lot. Thought it was really good. So that was easily one of my favorite surprises of the summer. I did not expect to go in and like that film the way that I did. And then the last nominee for me here, I am with you, Brendan. I have Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest.
Nice.
Not that I doubted Spike Lee, although I've been, hit or miss on him a little bit over the last 15 years. But also you're remaking Kurosawa.
A masterpiece.
A masterpiece. A film that's highly regarded.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like? And essentially what he does is make his Irishman the way Scorsese what Scorsese did with The Irishman. That's essentially what he's doing here. The first half of that film is purposefully, at least I would argue so. I think it's purposefully messy as he starts to deconstruct his career. And then in the back half really starts to wrestle with his legacy in this fascinating way, as Brennan noted earlier. So I really like that film a lot. I still think it's one of the better films of the year. And again,
it's underrated.
Not sure
I really
would
think
have
it is.
expected.
I mean, it has Jeffrey Wright and Denzel Washington. How is this going to be great?
And it's a thrilling movie. Well, that train scene is absolutely thrilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I hate to break it to you, Dave, but a lot of mid movies have great casts and actors that can't.
Do they have Denzel Washington and Jeffrey Wright? I don't think so.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, and look, not every film can make a mayhem joke and get away with it, or a State Farm joke and get away with it.
I think they made like 2 or 3 of them too. It just kept going. I was like,
the
you know what?
Scene in the car, he shouts out both of them in the same moment.
Yeah. God bless him. God,
just give
me like 100 Jeffrey Wright, Denzel Washington buddy comedies. I will watch.
I'm there.
All
100%.
of them.
Yeah, can we do can we like craft our own new Lethal Weapon franchise with them or something like that? I'd see that.
Fine, we'll watch.
Yeah, would absolutely watch. So yeah, I love Spike, love Highest to Lowest. That's my last nominee here. My winner for this though is the Thunderbolts, especially when you're talking about the surprise factor, because that's a film that was exactly what the MCU needed, I think, when it came out. But for the longest time, and I am sure you guys would agree at least somewhat with this, I thought that film would be terrible. I thought it would be fleeting. I didn't think it was going to impact the larger MCU at all.
Just seems so futile.
Low expectations is not low enough. Like, I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I legitimately thought it was going to be bottom tier MCU stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I did not go in with high expectations at all. I don't know if it would be bottom tier, but it was probably more in that direction than where it landed for me.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the characters. I thought maybe if anything, this could be like a fleeting romp, just could be like a fun little exercise.
Disposable.
Disposable. Absolutely. But then you see the film, and at least for me, I do think this is one of their very best. I think it's top tier Marvel. That's one of my top 10 MCU films to date.
Yeah,
same here.
And it introduces a major character like the Void, and it has some of the most emotional stakes we've ever seen in a Marvel movie. And the way it subverts the Marvel formula in that final act, I think, is incredible. It's really, really great. And I think part of why I was drawn to it is because it enacts a villain that is reminiscent of what drew me to something like Civil War, in the sense that it's all about the emotional fortitude those characters are grappling with. That's essentially the antagonist of the story. And in this case, it was loneliness and trauma. And the way the film taps into that, I think, is really great. You get one of Marvel's best scores underneath that as well. The cast, I noted Florence Pugh earlier. I think she's phenomenal in this film. So yeah, I think there's a lot to love about Thunderbolts, and I was blown away how it differed from how I felt about it walking into that movie.
Even just the look of the movie. Like, I think back to that limo chase in the desert and the way certain explosions happen, especially when Bucky shows up. My first thought was, this kind of reminds me, visually speaking, of Marvel Phase 1 when they actually made movies. Yeah. And I haven't felt that in a long time.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's very close to Phase 1 or maybe early Phase 2 in some ways.
Yeah.
And Louis Pullman could have been on my list for very good year too. He had 2 very good performances this year.
That's a great point. Yeah. Testament of Hanley as well.
Yeah, absolutely.